Hi madam, this is the Monday vlog and this is Something Got Paranormal. So here we go, here's the Africa Twin, and just going to do a first little vlog whilst we're on a ride with this. Somebody going back home, nothing too strenuous, but yeah, a couple of weeks now I've had her, and it's been great. I've been enjoying it. So let's get her fired up. There we go. And we up on. Oh, there we go. All good. That's it, off. So I think I just caught the heated grips. Alright, off we go. Now I've already made one addition, so well, technically it'll be a couple because I've ordered some bags for the panniers and top box. As you can see right in front of me, I've already made one little addition with the phone holder, and it's actually a wireless charger, so hopefully we can keep the cables to a minimum. Now, I mentioned several times in previous videos, including a test ride I did in the 2020 model. I think that was last year I did that one. And at the time I really wanted the DCT. The DCT I do actually love. It's works really well, and that's what I was initially looking out for. And the one I did see was in Double Honda in Coulsdon. But with me faffing around a little bit and I'm gonna know about finances, when I finally thought, yep, okay, I'll do this, it had actually gone. So I think I probably told the story before, but when I started looking around again and I found this one up the road from me, this had everything except the DCT. And yeah, this is a manual, as you noticed. Now, after a couple of weeks sitting with the manual, I'm very, very pleased to say that I don't sit here wishing that I bought the DCT instead. As much as I like it, the manual version is brilliant. Clutch is nice, the gearbox is nice. It's all pretty light, snicks in. I know it's only done 15,000, so you shouldn't expect to be anything else really. But yeah, it's great, and you know, the one thing you can't really do with the DCT is blip the throttle, so you know, a bit of childish fun I suppose. But what I'm finding with the manual being such a you know, a large capacity bike, and being a twin, there's a lot of torque here. Now there's actually about 7 different torque traction settings, as you can see there, along with some other modes that's available. I haven't really mucked around with them too much at the moment. I still actually haven't read the manual to this, so I will do that and suss everything out properly. But it's so the good thing about having such a big torquey engine is it's very relaxed sitting here at slow speeds. I'm not up and down the gearbox, which had I still had the CBR, I would be doing that, even though, you know, that's quite a reasonable bike. Obviously I would be doing that, and the riding position, again, it's a big adventure bike, so you know your sitting position is very natural. And I'll be saying the same about the Triumph as well. Obviously hasn't quite got the torque of a big twin. It don't quite rev out like a 4 does. Triples are sort of somewhere in the middle, so that is reasonably relaxed as well. But yeah, this is great. Now when I get it out on the open road, I've still yet to do that in earnest. The only time I've done it so far really was when we went to a funeral over in Stratford, so I was able to use it on the dual carriageways and stuff. And again, just as pleasing, you know, the big screen makes a huge difference. You can sit there nice and relaxed at motorway speeds. The extra width of this aftermarket screen also helps keep the wind off your shoulders, and this just keeps the wind off your crash helmet. So yeah, it just makes a really pleasing ride. I've got hopefully at the end of this month, I'm taking a week off. And I'm going to take a trip up to Whitby. Partly because last time I was up that neck of the woods was before COVID, and I was actually in York, and I'd sort of travelled out to different areas, and Whitby being one of them, but it was a very, very brief visit. And the reason being was I had taken a ride out to Thirsk first of all. Now I booked up a place to stay in York, so the ride outs were from York itself. And I'd taken a ride out to Thirsk to go and visit the home of James Herriot, who, as we know, wrote All Creatures Great and Small. James Herriot was actually his pen name. He was a real vet, but he couldn't use his real name because of being a real vet, so he had to pick a pen name, and James Herriot being that. Well, yeah, I you know, had the tour of his house, really enjoyed it, and then took a ride out to Goathland, which was where Heartbeat was filmed, remember, with Nick Berry, and also the train station there was used for the first Harry Potter film, and it is a live steam line. So anyway, I'd got there and bought a ticket to go down the line on a steam engine, enjoyed that immensely. However, the only problem was because I left it a bit late from visiting Thirsk. When I got off at Whitby, it was literally, got off the train, I literally stuck me at the train station for about 10 minutes before it was time to go back again. So when I go up again, it's my plan to actually visit Whitby properly. I'm hopefully going to start there for a day or two and enjoy their celebrated fish and chips with one thing, but also Whitby has quite a famous abbey, which is reportedly haunted and got quite a bit of activity there. And I found that out weirdly for watching an old, they're on YouTube, Seekers of the Supernatural, which was hosted by Tony Sparrow. Tony Sparrow is the son-in-law of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are now unfortunately deceased. He's married to their daughter. And Ed and Lorraine spoke of their trip to England. Interestingly, I don't know if it's the one trip or if they came over a couple of times, but very interestingly, one of their trips they ended up dealing with the Southend werewolf, of all people, which is a separate story I might do at some other point. And they did take a trip up to Whitby, and I think it was Ed Warren that was doing most of the talking about the activities they came across at Whitby Abbey. So yeah, well, that'll be a bit of an holiday. That will be a bit of a busman's type, if you know what I mean. And not only that, but I understand Count Dracula's castle as well is also based up there. So there'll hopefully be quite a lot to visit. And also, I want to check out the rest of the areas around there. And really looking forward to that at the moment. Now, depending on whether I go up on my own or someone comes with me, will depend on what transport I use. Now, if I'm going up on my own, I'm going to take this. This is literally, that's what the Adventure Sport's literally built for. It's more sort of touring orientated than what the standard Africa Twin is. It's got the big tank, long travel suspension. There's a couple of other bits on here as well, but yeah. So that's what I'd intend to do, and hopefully, with all the when I've got all the bag luggage for this, it should make a decent. Well, I know they make decent tours, and this one has already had the benefit from its previous owners of having all the nice kit fitted to go touring, which well, that's got the Honda panniers. It has the Givi Trekker top box, which is larger than the Honda's one. It also looks more robust as well. Not saying Honda's one isn't, but it does look quite a meaty thing. Not only that, as I say, got the larger than standard screen. The seat itself has got one of them netting cover things over it, which gives you a little bit of extra cushioning and also allows air to circulate in your nether regions, which is also nice. So yeah, and as I say, I've just fitted this new bit of kit, the wireless charger, which will also give me my sat nav and entertainment as well. When I wear my other crash helmet, my Nolan, it's got the Bluetooth kit in it and it works really nice. So yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to all that. I'm so chuffed with this. I love how it rides. I love the seating position. One of the funny things is when I got back on my Triumph last week, the Triumph isn't a small bike by any means, but it felt like a toy. It felt so small. Even though that's the engine is only a little bit smaller than this one. It's a 900. Obviously it's a 1000. It just felt so much smaller. But so this is all now kitted out to do that kind of riding, and I'm so looking forward to it. Whee! Oh, someone couldn't catch that on camera. Anyway. But yeah, so there we go. This is the Twin. You know, I'll be talking a bit more about it as I've discovered what the riding modes do. You have a look there, you know, got that little extra switch gear. It's also got another thing that came standard with the Adventure Sport was the heated grips, which is there. Obviously I don't need them at the moment because we're in summer and we're having a massive dry spell, as you all know, you know, and a warm spell. And it's funny actually, just going off slightly off pieces for a second, how much we've forgotten about summer last year, which was, I'll take a little detour actually, so that we'll go down to sleep. Yeah, I think we've got some short memories of last summer because last summer was crap. It was very, the weather was sort of very mildy, you know, it was nothing like what we've got this year, and it was also pretty damp. So, but that's one of the things about British weather, and you know what these doom-mongering channels seem to forget, or say forget, intentionally don't tell you. You know, last summer wasn't great. This one's, you know, it's all warm and dry and everything like that, you know, which is giving a nicer summer. I've got to say, this is one very tall bike. Now I've got the seat. The seat has two settings, and it's actually on the lowered setting. I'm alright on the high. I just thought I'd try the lower, and even on the lower setting I can't quite get my feet, both my feet flat on the ground. It's one or other, or I'm on very slight tiptoe sort of thing. Right now I could put my left foot down or my right foot down fully. I'm not moving too far, but oh shit. But yeah, that's centre, and I'm sort of on the balls of my feet. I can't quite get my my feet flat on the ground. So yeah, I mean, oh, I've lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, it's just gone. Whatever it was, whatever crap I was talking about, I've forgotten. This is a nice stable, it does have a very nice stable chassis. Now, the one thing it doesn't do is steer very quick, but then given the size of it and the fact it's got a 21-inch front wheel, you know, at the end of the day, these are big adventure bikes set up to go down tracks that you wouldn't consider on other bikes. So at the end of the day, that's what they're set up to do. The downside is, as I said, on the road, the steering is slower than probably some of the other adventure bikes. Now, the other one I really liked before the Africa Twin was announced was the Triumph Tiger 800. I still think it's a very, very good bike, and if Honda hadn't announced this, I would have a Triumph Tiger right now. But even that's got, I think that's got a shorter rake on it, therefore it can steer more quickly. The downside for that is less stability off-road. But as I say, you are where you are. You pick your sort of off-road stuff on the strength of how much you're going to do on and off-road. So, you know, you pay your money, takes your choice. Anyway, now content-wise, I didn't manage to get out this weekend and do any recording again. primarily because it's taken me such a long time to get my Canvey stuff done. And half the reason for that was the fact that the main content for Canvey, when we, and I've done the paranormal side of it, because it's kind of split into two. I've done the story of what happened to the bomber, and then gone into the actual paranormal bit itself. But then I've split them into two. Now, when I went to do the paranormal bits, I was including video from GhostTube, although I will do the bonus content with the GhostTube app as well. That's what I'm currently dealing with. And yeah, whilst I was sort of clipping in bits from the different, from both the cameras, I somehow managed to screw up the cuts, and as a result one was bleeding into the other, and all the captions I put on were out of sync, and yeah, I wasn't best pleased, so I literally had to start the whole lot of process again. It's just been taking ages when I'm trying to fit it in with other stuff, but now that's actually done, it's actually fully edited, I'm ready to go up the channel. So now I'm doing the GhostTube bits, I'm just sitting there listening to see if I pick out the EVPs and so forth, and hopefully get that done. And what I'm actually going to look to do, because there was actually two bombers that crashed on that day, it was 78 years ago now, I want to head over to All Hallows on Sea, I believe it's called, near Grain, because that's where the bomber that hit Heavenly Body 2, that's where that one crashed. And unfortunately, whereas Heavenly Body 2, of the 9 crew, 6 survived. With the other bomber, only 1 survived. So I'm going to head over to that side and see if I can do the same thing again. We'll just see what happens of that. Now, yeah, I've got that planned, along with I've got some other sites I've still yet to visit. I've got a cheeky little bit of video I did whilst we was at City of London Cemetery in Newham, which might go up as a bit of bonus content, which in itself was sort of quite interesting. There's a crypt at Newham Cemetery, and Kim and I were sort of, walking around it, and they had these big metal gates, or big metal gate sort of door things. So I tried one, it's going, put a old school noise, opened up and walked in, and so me and Kim just had a little nose around. I've done a little recording off the GhostTube, so we'll see if anything picks up because of that. And yeah, as I say, I've got 1 or 2 other ideas at the moment that I want to check out. It's just sort of putting them into place. Now, actual content for this week, we are on the 3rd and final bit to the Ramsgate tunnels. Obviously now I've finished Patricia Parsons, or at least for now anyway. I do want to go back and see if we can get any more and maybe help her in some way, because on my own, as I pointed out loads of times, I can be quite limited with what I can do. So at some point I really would like to head back out there with 1 or 2 other people and see if we can work with what's there better. They might, hello. What's going on over there? I love Southend. I really do. Yeah, just see if we can get any more contact and maybe see if Patricia needs my help. You know, whether to, you know, get out what actually happened, which you may sort of use the Estes method for, possibly. And help her to pass over if she needs that. But that will all be to come. So yeah, this week, the last bit of the Ramsgate tunnel footage. Now, I will apologise now that the camera footage isn't the greatest, because of what we had to deal with at the end of that night. Basically, something cropped up. Why are you sitting at? Oh right, okay. Trees and indicators would help. Because a situation cropped up that I basically, I know it weren't my, it wasn't my ghost hunt as it were, but I kind of sort of took over because it was clear that what was happening there needed more attention, in so much as a spirit needed our help. So what I would suggest is just listen very clearly, perhaps put some headphones on to get the better content of audio. And not just that, but I've got bonus content on Sunday, which does require again listening to. Now it took me ages to go through that again because there was a lot there, and I nearly cut out some stuff, and I'm glad I didn't, because something was telling me to listen to the GhostTube app content right through until the end, even though there was like 2 hours worth there, and believe you me, the concentration you need to go through that is phenomenal. But I was rewarded in a somewhat sad sense at the end of it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not really going to spoil it, but we got this EVP. I got this EVP, and it was so clear. And that's all I'm going to talk about regarding that. So yeah, that is what's coming up this week. It's the third and final part for Ramsgate Tunnels. Oh, you sod. Yeah, the third and final bit for Ramsgate Tunnels. And as I said, just sit down and listen carefully to what happens, because it was quite an eventful and emotional thing that we had to deal with in the end. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I've waffled on a fair bit for this one, and I know my content's normally like sort of around the 10-minute mark, and today's a little bit more. So I'm going to leave it there because I appear to be surrounded by a few boy racers. There we go. This dirty diesel. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for putting up with my waffle on this one. And we will see you Wednesday for the third and final part to Ramsgate Tunnels. So we'll thank you once again. Take care of yourselves. Love and light to you all. This is Southend Guard Paranormal signing off. Bye bye.